Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Ajay Stephen. I am a part of this advisory group number 10. We are very glad that you guys approach us regarding considering the concerns about where to put your factory, smartphone factory, either in Japan or in Mexico. The main topics we cover comes under this cost saving, cheap labor, low building cost in comparing Mexico and Japan. As of now, you are really only on the basic cost consideration, and as we consider the global sourcing, which lead us to a new concept, why it is important to cover global sourcing with the manufacturing unit in Mexico. Global sourcing is the process of identifying, selecting, managing supply of goods and services from different countries to take the advantages of cost, quality, and innovation and other advantages. We consider two topics mainly. One is EPIC and the other is TOC. EPIC structure include infrastructure, economical, political, and competence, while total cost of ownership include the cost of ownership and the labor and everything else. The purpose and the scope is to provide a comprehensive analysis to build the factory in Mexico rather than in Japan. In addition, we investigated the reasons behind the lower building cost in Mexico and the lower labor in Mexico, and any other factors that you should be concerned, and any factor you consider to make this decision. Next, my friend Sneha will take the topic, elaborate the topic more.
Hi, my name is Sneha, and I'll be talking about total cost of ownership analysis, what it is, and what its importance are. So, total cost of ownership analysis is a financial evaluation process that considers all direct and indirect costs associated with operating, owning, and maintaining a particular asset or investment over its entire life cycle. TCO analysis is an essential tool used by organizations to evaluate the total cost of ownership of a product or service, which can help them make more informed decisions about procurement, production, and investment. TCO analysis is a crucial in decision making because it provides a comprehensive understanding of the true cost of an investment beyond just the initial purchase price. This analysis can uncover hidden costs that are often overlooked in the decision making process, such as maintenance cost, operating cost, and disposal cost. So by considering all this cost, organization can make more informed decisions about the total cost of ownership of a particular asset or investment and whether it represents good value or money over the long term. Thus, TCO analysis is an important tool for business as it helps to understand the total cost of owning and operating a particular asset or investment over its life cycle. It is crucial in making informed decision about procurement, production, and investment, and can help business to avoid unexpected costs and minimize their overall financial risk. So next are the components of a TCO analysis. A TCO analysis generally consists of several components that may vary depending on the asset or investment being evaluated. These components include acquisition cost, operating cost, disposal cost, replacement cost, downtime cost, environmental and opportunity cost. Acquisition cost refers to the direct cost associated with purchasing the asset, such as the purchase price, taxes, duties, and other related fees. Operating cost includes ongoing expenses associated with operating the assets, including labor cost, energy cost, maintenance cost, repair cost, and supplies. Disposal cost refers to the expense associated with the disposing of the assets, including transformation, dismantling, or recycling. Recycling cost. Replacement cost refers to the expense associated with replacing the asset at an end of its useful life, including the cost of the replacement asset installation and other related expenses. Downtime costs are expense that arise from the asset not being operational, such as lost productivity, lost sales, and potential damage to the organization's reputation. Environmental costs are those associated with the asset's environmental impact, including emission, waste disposal, and other related expenses. Finally, opportunity costs. Opportunity costs are expenses associated with not choosing an alternative asset or investment that could provide a better value or a better meet of the organizational needs. By taking all these costs into account, a TCO analysis organization can gain a comprehensive understanding of the real cost of owning and operating an asset throughout its entire life cycle. This understanding can help the organization make more informed decision regarding procurement, production, and investment, and ultimately reduce their overall financial risk. Thank you. The next part will be taken by my other teammate.
My name is Samuel, from where my friends stopped. To establish a factory in Mexico or Japan, a comprehensive total cost of ownership analysis is important. It will provide you with a better understanding of the cost associated with each option. Firstly, acquisition cost of factory in Mexico is lower than Japan, around 3 million in difference. The reason behind the difference is lower cost of labor, land, and material. Furthermore, the operation cost and running a factory in Mexico is lower than Japan. However, the additional costs such as energy costs, taxes, transportation, and other costs must be considered. Plus, long-term environmental factors also should be considered. The replacement costs in Japan are higher due to strict building rules and regulations. However, putting both the countries into consideration, building factory in Mexico may lead to lower cost. Comparison of TCO result, you should take long-term effect into consideration. Evaluate the TCO result carefully and make an effective decision based on a comprehensive analysis of all costs associated with the global source. Next, my fellow friend Anita will discuss about EPIC structure.
Hi, good morning everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the EPIC tool importantly used for taking the decision making regarding the mobile manufacturing company to be placed in Mexico or Japan. So as we all know that EPIC is a tool which is used widely in the whole world for making a decision regarding the placement of a manufacturing company and for taking a good decision whether it is good or bad or it is better for comparison. So EPIC is in definition, EPIC means is the first structure like economical, political, infrastructure, and competence. So economical means economic is the most important thing in the EPIC structure, and it mostly include the material the labor cost, material cost, exchange rate, and the tax and all those things. As we all know that both Mexico and Japan are really good countries in this world currently. So in Mexico, while we are making a good investigation, we found that Mexico is a rapidly growing economy where it has a very good GDP and everything. In the current past few years, while we are evaluating the past few years, we can very well know that the GDP rate in the economy was very good. And about the labor cost and all those things, it's really good. Like the cost of labor is really low compared to Japan. And the building cost, you all know that the building cost is really important while we are taking a decision about the location of a business. So the labor cost is also comparatively low. But we can say that both Mexico and Japan has the very good competence in this economic analysis. And compared to political, in the political scenario, political stability and the regulations are very important, because while we are starting a new business in a new place, it's very important that we have to be very much aware about the political factors for the development and improvement of a business. So Mexico and Japan has really a strong regulatory system. Both the advantages and disadvantages are go by hand in hand. In Mexico is really welcoming about the new business opportunities, like what we called as while we are starting a new business in Mexico, their government is really welcoming for the foreign investments, and that will be very much for the business to expand their facilities and all those things. And low consumption in Japan is also considerably important. Like the cost like the taxes and everything was little more liberal than Mexico, so that has to be also in the consideration. And other important thing is infrastructure. As we all know that infrastructure is really important for every business for its future development and expansion. The important thing is infrastructure quality. Infrastructure quality can be either said in transportation or communication system. As we all know that the development in the current scenario is also always depending upon the telecommunication system, because we all are understanding the future of the business through the internet and all those things. So Japan, considering Japan is the best infrastructure system in the world. So while evaluating in the epic system in Japan, in the infrastructure system was creating a very good impact in this decision making scenario. And high speed of telecommunication system in Japan was considerably very good. But Mexico is also keeping a very good telecommunication system. But comparatively Japan is the highest one, important one. That like what we call the development phase was little more higher than Mexico. So before taking a decision in for locating a manufacturing firm, whether in Mexico or Japan, as per our team's understanding, like Mexico will be more important, because as you all know that you people are more considerably taking the decision upon only the basic cost and all those things. But we thought that in the current scenario, it is very important for analyzing the PIC tool and the TCO for taking a decision. So as per my understanding, as I thought my team members also finding that Mexico can be provide more profitable business than compared to Japan. And about this, so I can explain you more about more about the competence phase and all those things. And hope you can.
Hi, my name is Soya Jacob, and I will be taking the risk and opportunities associated with each factor in the EPIC tool evaluation. So, first one, competence factors evaluation. Competence factors are closely linked to cultural factors and can have a significant impact on the success of a factory in a foreign country. So, understanding the competence differences is important to better navigate business practices, communication, and workforce management. Mexico has a collectivist culture where family and community are prioritized over individualism. In contrast, Japan has a more hierarchical and formal business culture where respect for authority and hierarchy are critical. In Japan, a culture of loyalty to the company is prevalent, and employees may work long hours without complaint. But in Mexico, a more relaxed attitude towards work life balance is common. It is necessary to consider how these cultural differences may impact employee satisfaction, productivity, and retention. So, next one, risk and opportunities identified in each area of evaluation. Potential risks were identified, such as instability in the economy, currency fluctuations, and increased cost due to inflation in the Mexican economy. Also, the opportunities included access to low-cost labor, reduced building cost, and the potential to tap into emerging markets in Latin America. There are some other risks which includes political instability and corruption in Mexico, regulatory barriers, and uncertainty in trade policies. And also, the opportunities included government incentives for foreign investors, access to special economic zones, and favorable tax policies. So, in terms of the infrastructure factors, poor transportation infrastructure, inadequate communication systems, and unreliable power supply were identified as the potential risk in Mexico. But there are also some opportunities such as availability of skilled labor, proximity to ports and major transportation routes, and potential for infrastructure improvements are found in Mexico. Language and cultural barriers, differences in business practices, and potential misunderstandings or conflicts are some of the risks in Mexico. But there are some opportunities which includes access to a large and diverse workforce, potential for knowledge transfer and innovation, and potential for cultural exchange and collaboration. Risk and opportunities associated with each factor. So, let's look at some potential risks and opportunities associated with each factor contributing to the low cost of building in Mexico. While labor cost presents an opportunity for you to reduce overall production cost and increase profits, there is a risk associated with lower labor productivity, which could lead to longer production lead times or lower quality products. So, lower material cost poses a risk of lower quality materials or longer lead time for sourcing materials. There are some government incentives in Mexico, such as tax breaks, subsidies, or other benefits. However, the availability and reliability of these incentives may be impacted by the political and economic stability of the country, which could impact the financial viability of the project. Tax rates may be lower in Mexico compared to Japan. However, the complex tax structure and regulations may result in unexpected cost or financial risk for the client. So, it is crucial to carefully weigh the risk and opportunities associated with each factor to ensure long term financial sustainability.
Hi everyone, my name is Deepak Nandan. I'm a part of this advisory group. As an advisory member, we use TCO analysis EPIC tool to evaluate the problem and reach some suggestions. As we all know that your primary thought is like considering the basic cost of a company, but that not in the practical scenario. We have to consider more like labors, materials, and other costs and other factors which is influencing the running influence to run a build a factory there. And we have to look the long term and short term aspects of this as well. So we recommend that you should take all expenses associated with setting up a factory, like labor, material, transportation, taxes, and government incentives. In to like in our scenario, we have to consider Mexico and Japan. So there is a two different government and two different scenarios were going on. So you have to consider this in a different way. And we did that studies and all that by using the EPIC tool and TCO analysis. By assessing the risk and opportunities of each location based on the EPIC factors and EPIC factors such as the economic, political, and infrastructure and competitiveness of each countries, which is different. So you have to consider in an individual way. So in the long term, and we have to also consider the long term benefits and drawbacks of each locations, which should be in consideration, so that we can find or we can end up with a better decision for building a factory. So according to these studies, we recommend you guys that you should consider setting up a factory in Mexico due to the country's favorable economic and political conditions and all that. So that's our suggestion, and you guys all understand about the topics which our fellow team members were discussed, how we end up with these suggestions. And to conclude, the analysis found that setting up a factory in Mexico had a lower TCO than in Japan, and you should consider Mexico and take advantages of lower labor cost and material cost and government taxes and everything, etc. And by taking these things and exploiting the opportunities presented invested by the cultural situations and between the Mexico, like the Mexico and US, the cultural difference is very much different, so you can exploit more opportunities from there. And how and even though we did this study and we end up with this decision, we have to face some limitations, like we only got the secondary data and all that, so the practical scenario would be maybe different. However, we can show you the guys that by building a factory in Mexico would be a better option as compared to Japan. So and I wish you guys all the well wishes to build a your new venture in Mexico, and you can consider more sources to get a better decision. So in our studies, we can find, or we can suggest you guys to build a factory in Mexico, and that's it. That's all from us. Thank you.